there are unconfirmed media reports that Rabih Alkhalil is in custody. However, we do not have confirmation of his arrest. We will not be able to provide any further information in regard to this matter. If that information changes, we will update you accordingly. This press conference is about the arrest of 3 men who have been charged in the investigation into the escape of Rabih Alkhalil. During that investigation, police gathered further information that resulted in the prevention of a murder in Kamloops. As well, we were able to lay charges in a shooting in Maple Ridge. So now that I have addressed the unconfirmed media reports, I'm going to inform you the details of this press conference. We are pleased to share a significant development: the arrest of individuals who have been charged in the escape of Rabih Alkhalil. And this escape occurred in 2022 in the North Fraser Pretrial Center in Coquitlam. In July 2023, CFSU BC took over the investigation, and in December 2023, a joint project between CFSU BC and Federal Policing Pacific Region was started. We have now secured 17 charges against 5 individuals, and 3 of them were directly involved in the prison breach that led to Rabih Alkhalil's escape. Sergeant Lobb will now read the news release in English, followed by Corporal Berube, who will read it in French. Then we will take your questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Sergeant Tammy Lobb, Media Relations Officer with Federal Policing Pacific Region. That's Tammy Lobb, spelled T-A-M-M-Y-L-O-B-B. The Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit of British Columbia and the RCMP Federal Policing Pacific Region confirmed charges have been approved against 3 men who allegedly assisted in the escape of Rabih Alkhalil from the North Fraser Pretrial Center 3 years ago. On July 21st, 2022, Coquitlam RCMP responded to an incident at the pretrial center after 2 men posing as contractors aided in the escape of Alkhalil, who remains at large. In February 2023, the Alkhalil investigation was transferred to CFSU BC, with Federal Policing Pacific Region joining the operation later that year. The BC Prosecution Service has approved charges against 3 men for their roles in Alkhalil's escape. Those individuals are Edward Ayoub, 48 of Ottawa, John Potvin, 49 of Ottawa, and Ryan Van Gool, 46 of Harrison Hot Springs. They have each been charged with conspiracy to commit a prison breach and prison breach. In March of 2024, while conducting the Alkhalil investigation, police uncovered information that has now led to additional charges against Ryan Van Gool and 2 men for allegedly conspiring to murder an individual in Kamloops. Ryan Van Gool, Bryce Telford, 28 years old of Surrey, and Scott Telford, 61 of Surrey, are each charged with conspiracy to commit murder, possession of a loaded restricted firearm, and possession of a loaded prohibited firearm. In addition, Ryan Van Gool has been charged with discharging a firearm with intent and possession of a loaded prohibited or restricted firearm in relation to an incident that took place in Maple Ridge in January 2024. In terms of the current status of all those arrested and charged, Ryan Van Gool, Bryce Telford, and Scott Telford were arrested on September 5th and remain in custody. Their next court appearance is on September 10th at the Vancouver Law Courts. Edward Ayoub is already in custody for a murder in another province and is facing these new charges. John Potvin is currently wanted on a Canada-wide warrant for these charges. We ask the public become familiar with his photo today and contact their local police with any information regarding his whereabouts. All 17 charges against the 5 individuals are by direct indictment. meaning the charges will go straight to trial without a preliminary inquiry. CFSCU BC and Federal Policing Pacific Region would like to acknowledge and thank the Ottawa Police Service for their vital role in this investigation, as well as Coquitlam, Kamloops, and Ridge Meadows RCMP detachments. I will now turn it over to Corporal Alex Berube, who will now read the media release in French.
L'unité mixte d'enquête sur le crime organisé de la Colombie-Britannique.
The combined units BC, RCMP, and CFSUB confirm the arrests of 3 men who would have helped Rabih Alkhalil escape the Fraser Pretrial Center 3 years ago. In July 2022, Coquitlam police followed up on an event at the Fraser Center after 2 men impersonating hand workers to help Alkhalil escape, and this man is still at large. In February 23, the investigation of this escape was transferred to CFSUB, the BC RCMP joined in December 2023. The investigation led to the 3 charges of conspiracy to escape prison. The following three have been charged for conspiracy to break out of a prison toward Edward Ayew, 48, Ottawa, John Potvin, 49, from Ottawa, and Ryan Van Gool, 46, from Harrison's Hot Springs. Over the course of the inquiry on Mr. Alkhalil, police have updated the charges against Ryan Van Gool and 2 others for conspiracy to murder in March 2024 in Kamloops. Each are also charged with possession of a loaded and restricted firearm. The individuals being charged are the following: Ryan Van Gool, Bryce Telford, 28, Surrey, and Scott Telford, 61, from Surrey.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Also, Ryan Van Gool was charged with discharge of a firearm with particular intent and possession of a loaded or restricted firearm in Maple Ridge in January 2024. Van Gool, Rice, and Scott Telford were arrested September 5, 2025, and remain in custody. They will appear before court on September 10th at Vancouver Court.
Edward
Ayew is in custody in another province for another crime and is also being charged. John Potvin is being searched in a pan-Canadian warrant for the charges we've mentioned. If you have seen this man or have information about this man, where he is, please communicate directly with your regional police. The 17 charges against the 5 individuals are a direct indictment, which means that there will be a court trial right away with no preliminary inquiry. The CFSUBC and BCRCMP want to thank the Ottawa Police Services for the essential role they played with this file, and also gratitude for the Coquitlam, Kamloops, and Ridge Meadows RCMP. The inquiry is ongoing. If you have any information that could help the police locate John Potvin and Rabih Alkhalil, please contact your regional police.